it's Devin Pinkston from Identity Insights Counseling in the lovely city of Grand Junction, Colorado. It's August 2019. I apologize I've not put out a video in a few months. I've been extremely busy here at my office. I've actually been very booked out for months, seeing clients who are still looking to move forward within their medical journey for transition, whether it's hormones or surgery, and recently I've added a new therapist to my team. So I've been very happy, expanding over here, very busy. So again, thank you for your patience. Alright, before we do get started on the topic for this video today, I did want to let everyone know just a brief disclaimer before we get started. I haven't had a lot of requests from out-of-state mental health services or gender-related therapy recently, but I did want to let people know who are watching this video, unless you are a resident of Colorado, I cannot see you for mental health services. So, you have to live here, either on the Western Slope or somewhere else in Colorado for me to be able to see you. Some therapists are licensed in multiple areas. I am not, unfortunately. So, I just needed to let everyone know that before we do get started. Alright, well the topic today I wanted to address is steps to take to start your transitional journey. This was a topic recommended by one of my followers, Doug Fulton, who was interested in receiving some more information about this. So I wanted to break this down into two specific groups, teens and adults, and I wanted to keep the information pretty broad because there's always a lot of specifics out there, but to keep the video a little more relevant too, for let's say if you're watching it in 2019 or in 2025, that way you'll still be able to hopefully connect to whatever is important, relevant at that time. So we'll get started with the teens first. So the very first recommendation I would have for starting your transitional journey would be to first kind of check out your school. See if there's a GSA or another LGBTQ support group there. GSAs often stand for Gay Straight Alliance. Sometimes they go by other names, but if you happen to have one at your school, whether it's middle school or high school, likely you're going to find some other students going through that same transitional journey. You'll be able to connect to trusted adults, so the teachers or staff that run that particular group should be safe to talk to. If you don't have a GSA at your school, finding a trusted adult to discuss that with, especially if you're interested in maybe looking at potential medical steps down the road. It could be a friend, family member, school administrators, whoever you feel comfortable talking to, and of course trusted friends. And I would recommend healthy friends. So friends who maybe seem like they're in an emotionally stable place. I know we all go through ups and downs with depression, anxiety sometimes, but we want to make sure, especially if you're questioning for the first time, whether you identify as trans or non-binary, or just need a little extra support yourself, that you have somebody who can be that emotional pillar for you. Another great place for my trans male clients, if you're looking for binders, which are very popular among a lot of my clients, would be to just simply putting into Google chest binders. A really popular website, which I will actually get specific on this one, is GC2B. It seems like it's the most reputable site out there, at least in preference for my clients here that I see at my office. They've got a variety of colors, skin tones, measurement information. So that's one that I would highly recommend for people to check out. Again, you can also Google chest binders and information should pop up from other websites as well if you're interested in trying out those. A great place to just look for general information would be Planned Parenthood. They've got a really great article on what do I need to know about transitioning, which has some information about social transition, medical transition, clickable links that you can check out within the Planned Parenthood article for some specific questions you might have that come up from that. For my trans female clients, voice training. A really good app is Eva, EVA. However, I think I recently noticed that Eva is only compatible with iPhones, so if you don't happen to have an iPhone, just checking out YouTube videos, speech or vocal training coaches online, or nearby you. Unfortunately, we don't have any here on the Western Slope of Colorado, as far as like voice coaches or anything like that. So I typically recommend different videos, Eva, things like that to people. So those would be the predominant informational pieces for my teens. So for my adults, what I want to talk about next are some specifics for you guys out there. So actually, this first one for the adults can be relevant to teens as well. Seeking out mental health counseling. So for teens, one thing that I want to let you guys know is if you happen to be a teen, depending on your state laws, will depend on when you can seek mental health counseling. So for instance, in Colorado, if you're 15 and older, you can seek mental health services without the authorization or permission of a legal guardian or parent. Other states, there might range in that age frame. So again, you might just want to look into that. I tell people it never hurts to, try. If you don't know what that legal age is, if you happen to find a gender therapist, LGBTQ therapist near you that you really like, reach out to them, see what they say. I know for myself, I always try and coordinate with clients, regardless of age and based on need. So definitely check that out. For adults, the same thing. Looking for a gender-related therapist, mental health-related therapist to discuss, your transitional needs, walking you through like your gender journey that you've had, and anything that needs to be addressed in between. Also looking for different support groups. So these support groups might be trans-related, LGBTQIA as a whole, any group that you feel could also help support you emotionally and to connect you to people who are going through similar processes themselves. Teens can look for these as well. I do know, again, sometimes the support groups have age limitations or some sort of parental sign-off or authorization that's needed. So for teens, just kind of being a little cautious. They don't always have those rules, but something to look into. For adults, definitely it's a way to connect with people in person or even just online. Reviewing information on HRT and surgery can also be important too. So for adults seeking that next level step, if you've taken social steps already in your transition, then kind of understanding what are the next ways to pursue that medical journey. A good website is WebMD. They actually have a really great article on what is transitioning, and within that article they have information on HRT and surgery. So those are really the steps to take to start out within your transition. Again, we can always get into specifics on clothing, makeup, hair, behaviors, things like that, but I wanted to keep this video, as I mentioned early on, very broad, so that people can take some of those first steps. But if you do have any suggestions or recommendations on things to include in future videos related to those really specific steps, let me know in the comments below, and I'd be happy to do another updated video. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So at Facebook, it's Devin Pinkston Counselor. I'm not sure what Instagram is at the moment, so I will post that at the end of the video. Twitter, it should be at Identity Insight 1. So it's Identity Insight, INSIGH, and the number 1. And you can also check us out at our website. Again, last disclaimer, if you are not a resident of Colorado, I cannot see you for any mental health or gender-related services. And I cannot recommend anything in the state that you live in because I'm only familiar with the resources here in Colorado. Alright everyone, until next time, thank you for tuning in, and I will be in touch later on with more updated videos. Take care.